In this manga, 100 girls are in love with this man, but if he only chooses one, then the rest die.
Oh no!
So our hero, being the ultimate Chad of good morals and to avoid being charged with murder, makes it his goal to date all of them and make them all his girlfriends in the ultimate harem manga. And I know what you're thinking. Satumi, you've done this video 2 times already. Stop repeating information. It's been 3 years. Anyways, this is Rentarou. He's not your typical romance MC. He's done something that no one has ever done before. He takes initiative and puts himself out there to find his soulmate. Although he may have gone rejected over 100 times, he takes his rejections with stride and moves on.
Wah ha ha.
Anyways, this is 100 Girlfriends who really love you. Written by Rikito Nakamura and drawn by Yukiko Nozawa. A long time ago, I made a video about this manga and I had a great time reading it. We got to 4 girlfriends and I loved them all, except for the librarian one. She wasn't my type.
Perhaps I treated you too harshly.
But what I really enjoyed about this manga, as unlike other harem stories where it seems like all the girls just like the MC for no real reason, this manga at least tries to justify why he needs a harem. See, in this world, the god of love exists, and everyone should have a soulmate. But due to a clerical error, Rentarou here has 100 soulmates, dooming 99 others to be virgins forever. And Rentarou can choose out of the 100, but if he picks one, then the rest die. So instead of being exclusive, we're gonna be inclusive to save lives. Now you might be thinking, Satumi, didn't you already say that? Stop repeating information. You're literally wasting minutes saying the exact same thing.
You can't keep getting away with it!
Exactly. See, this manga's humor comes from the idea that it's self-aware, that it is a harem manga, keyword on the word manga. With the amount of references to popular culture and its meta nature, the manga straddles the line of meta humor where it can go from, oh, that's cute and cheeky, to that's just actually cringe. This idea of being self-aware that your whole existence is just a form of entertainment for consumers isn't very new. But because it's from Japan, and the only other Japanese entertainment that I know of that does this popular culture / meta humor is Gintama, the nature of this manga is a little refreshing. And yes, I did the, oh my god, it's Japanese, it's so cool meme. But this isn't just a simple parody. If we ignore the idea that God pretty much forced 100 random women to only have feelings for one guy without any choice in the matter, this manga does an interesting job breaking down tropes and archetypes of a typical anime girl. And instead of rushing through the premise, the manga takes its time to flesh out all these girls, somehow, and even dedicate some chapters to some pairings like a modern Fire Emblem game. These moments elevate the manga, and can be really thought-provoking at times. The date chapters especially, where Rentarou gets to hang out with a few of his girlfriends, are my personal favorite. I also like how Rentarou is more of a supportive boyfriend than a plot device that solves every girl's problems. The girlfriends aren't cured of their problems by being Rentarou's girlfriend. They still have their own issues and insecurities. I mean, there are moments where the writer does rely on Rentarou's sane-like power level to solve an absurd issue, but it's usually done in a comedic way anyways. But when it gets more serious, sometimes the girlfriend has to figure it out themselves, or get help from the other girlfriends, as Rentarou stands by them as a pillar. So yeah, this is a feminist manga disguised as a trashy harem manga for degenerates. Isn't that crazy? These moments are usually serious, but that's a lot of reading. And that's why we're here. Instead of doing a traditional commentary video reading the manga, since one chapter is more dense than the entirety of Hunter x Hunter. Oh my god! Dude, that's actually impressive. Look at that. They had to translate all that. Wow. Every sentence is unique. And I don't want to spoil the silliness. I'm going to review and rate all the current girlfriends that Rentarou has. As of this video, there are only 250 chapters and our boy has 37 girlfriends. And this manga is gonna go on forever and ever and ever. Now let's get to the first girl. Hanazono Hakari is the first girl that confesses to Rentarou. She is the busty, horny, and thick girl. And I lovingly refer to her as the tutorial girlfriend, because no matter what you do, you cannot mess up this relationship. You can be the biggest racist, misogynist, incel of a man, and she will still love you unconditionally. She's also rich and always down bad for you, which kind of makes her a bit boring. What? That's inconceivable! We will come back to this shocking revelation later in the video. Don't forget to like and subscribe while you absorb this shocking new twist. But as the primary fan service character, she's forced to be an airhead with a huge libido, and she would not be that interesting if not for her looks, especially the birthmark on her upper thigh that the artist painstakingly places, even though she doesn't need to. I mean, look at that little pixel of a mole. But she draws it anyways because details matter. Now, it's a bit unfair since she is the first girl, and most people find it difficult to detach themselves from their first love. But once you get out of the tutorial and face some challenges, it seems like a waste of time to play the tutorial again. 3 out of 5. Inda Karane is the second girl alongside Hakari that confesses her love to RMC. She is the tsundere girlfriend of the story, with a pinch of gyaru and delinquent. Now, tsunderes are a very controversial archetype, at least compared to the previous supporting subservient thick girlfriend. I happen to like tsunderes, since their aggressive personalities lead to some funny banter, and they need that personality to stand out because they aren't going to have the physical features that would attract the typical anime protagonist. Karane has the most potential for character development out of the early girlfriends, since tsunderes coming to terms of their feelings is a typical romance arc. She's also an A cup. Ow! Okay, B cup on a good day. So she has some self-esteem issues when it comes to her chest, which I find ridiculous. Sure, you don't have jiggle physics, but your boobs are just fine. Then again, her prideful nature is adorable, and she does have the benefit of being a Yuri extension of the tutorial girlfriend. So you get potential threesomes with her. She's also pretty violent, but it's playful, you know? Having your eyes gouged out, it's playful. She's also the most normal, as in, she's the straight man in the midst of ridiculous situations that are gonna happen later. So she stands out because of that. And it's not like I like her or anything, but she is by far the best of the early girls, and the cutest by far. And yes, I know she's the second girlfriend, but trust me, she's the cutest by far. 5 out of 5. Yoshimoto Shizuka is a shy bookworm that can only communicate through literary text and actual text. Her gimmick is adorable, but it's hard to see someone like this as a girlfriend. She seems more like a little sister, or at best, a good friend. She's very pure, innocent, and so small. So very, very small. So it's a crime to defile that. This is just a roundabout way to say that I'm not into the lolly body type. I'm down to be friends, but nothing more. I will say she has very cute moments. Like, look at her hanging around. And I'll say that her introduction chapter is still the best to this day. Maybe when she gets older, she can have the fairy tale prince she deserves and live happily ever after. Especially after chapter 135, because holy crap, she deserves a boyfriend that will love and cherish her for who she is. She's probably the best written in terms of character development and definitely the most fleshed out character though. So she's got that going for her. And she stands up for her friends even if it was by accident. It took 250 chapters, but I finally broke. She's a 5 out of 5. I've seen the light. Ei Nano. Now, when I first read this, I didn't get the robot jokes, which I'm very surprised because her name is literally AI. Get it? Because of artificial intelligence?
Nanomachine, son!
I thought she was a blonde Komi, but it turns out she's a silver-haired Komi, but just on character design only. Her personality is vastly different. She is very intelligent, and her gimmick is very funny. And she's really hot, okay? And her efficiency and logical approach might lead to some very exciting dates. She's also very bold, and that's kind of nice. She's arguably the most effective girlfriend in terms of getting things done. And plus, she has a fear of heights, so I get to tease her about it, and it's pretty cute. Plus, she can do my math homework. But most importantly, she will do whatever she can to make sweet memories with her boyfriend. And she will keep having those memories even when a parallel nano tries to delete it. 4 out of 5. Yakuzin Kusuri. This girl is willing to smoke meth. So Kusuri is a bit of a science nut like Doraemon. And I think her name is an anagram for Kurisu, the cute redhead from Steins Gate. She has a very attractive design. She even has a mole on her titty, which is a recurring style from Nozawa's hentai days. But the sexy adult form is only temporary. Because of a drug, she takes on a more childlike form. As I said before, not what I'm into. But my issue with her is that because she's so into science and experimenting, you'll be forced to participate in her various drugs that may or may not help us in various shenanigans we find ourselves into. Now, I do enjoy some drugs time to time, but I don't want to be a guinea pig to them. Now, that does make the relationship unpredictable and exciting, but it also leads to some weird quirks/fetishes, such as her wearing a diaper and relieving herself in excitement, which makes sense since she's a One Piece fan. She also has a speech quirk where she says yep or yeppers, and that will get kind of annoying. But I will say she is the biggest reason why this manga is still able to stay fresh after so many chapters. And for that, she gets a bonus point for carrying the story. 3 out of 5. Hanazono Hahari. Back to the shocking twist of our tutorial girlfriend having no problems. Turns out, she has an overprotective mother with a shockingly dark backstory. As a rich single hilf in our area, get it, hilf? Haha, I'd like to
Wow!
Because haha means mother in Japanese if you speak casually, and her name is Hahari? Nah, no one gets it. Well, she might be a great girlfriend if we're willing to accept that you'd be dating both the mom and the daughter. And it would be a crazy hentai scenario if only this wasn't a Jump magazine. The adult stuff might complicate matters. What if they both want kids? What would they even be called? Half siblings? Oh, this is too much for my maiden heart. Both the mother and daughter are huge perverts. The mother especially has some unique kinks since she's a generation above. She's a lolicon, or a pedophile if you're American, who likes really cute, cuddly, fluffy things. And she wants to make you a literal baby. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know if I want to become a baby. But then again, she is a rich sugar mommy. 3 out of 5. Haraga Kurumi is a middle schooler, our sweet special little kohai. So that's already a no. But you could say that to all the other girls that are underage except for Hahari, which is why we need to localize this video to prevent demonetization and social media cancellation. So every girl has been aged up and are in college, even though they are still forced to wear high school uniforms. This is the power of fiction. All right, look, there's gonna be a lot of bullshit in this manga and it gets much, much worse. Let's just be glad that Rentarou doesn't believe in premarital sex. Kurumi seems to have an eating disorder and might be bipolar. Every time food is mentioned, she gets hungry, and you're not you when you're hungry. Eat a Snickers, Kurumi. But also, good luck having to pay for all that food this little Kirby consumes. Okay, in chapter 176, Kurumi goes on the cutest not Disneyland date, and she was so selfless and kind and adorable that she gets a bump from 2 out of 5 to a 4 out of 5. Maid Ome is literally a maid who has to obey her master. Get it? Maid Ome, because she's a maid with maid as her name? No one gets it. Anyway, she keeps her eyes closed because they are LGBT friendly, and that's pretty offensive to all the homophobes in Japan. So she willingly blinds herself to keep the Brock trope alive. But you don't need to blind yourself, Mado. Your eyes are beautiful. You should be proud of yourself. Wait a minute. That's another girlfriend from the Hanazono household. Oh, great. This man's getting girlfriends from just connections and nepotism. So Mado has no other personality other than obeying orders from her master. She doesn't seem to have any semblance of free will. Someone that's dependent on orders might get repetitive real fast. But damn, why does she have to have such an attractive character design? And then have the personality of a loyal dog? Man, is this how Makima feels? She's also willing to kill herself, which is such a red flag. But I do want a loyal maid girlfriend that will never let me die. But despite that initial impression, she does start to come into her own and starts to value herself more. She's more than just a character trope, she's her own person, and that bumps her up to a 4 out of 5. Suto Iku is a cute blonde baseball player. At least I think she's blonde. She has pretty thick eyebrows and is rather athletic because of her baseball training. She's a stoic girl and finds pleasure in the pain of training. Maybe a bit too much to the point of masochism. However, her pleasure and pain isn't exclusive to the physical, but also emotional. What I'm saying is that she's into NTR. She derives pleasure from having her heart being played with. There had to be a catch with her. She was literally the perfect tomboy archetype. Of course she's into having her heart broken. She'd probably go out of her way to find swingers on WhatsApp so she can watch her boyfriend with other women. But you know what? Despite all that, I actually like Iku. As with Cinderella's, the tomboy archetype has a lot of development potential, and her masochism leads to a lot of funny jokes and cute moments. Oh, Karane. I'm sorry, but tomboys are just so cute. Plus, she likes to get spanked, and I'm into that. Anyway, 5 out of 5 for the horny masochistic tomboy girlfriend. Utsukushi Sugi Mi is a woman obsessed with her own beauty to the point of narcissism. Get it? Me. You know, it's all about me. Naturally, no one gets it. You'd have to be there to understand why she is both the most beautiful and the best. Her skin is so flawless and smooth like a slippery soap. She is not willing to settle with mediocrity. She will force you to subscribe to her ideas of divine beauty, causing you to transform into a boy so you can be her only boy. But she isn't just shallow about her self-image. Like a true Ojo-sama, she has a strong work ethic that allows her to make the money to stay beautiful. However, because of that, she's going to attract a lot of attention from strangers. She might even become a social media influencer, maybe even start an OnlyFans. I don't know if I want all this extra attention. This wouldn't be very good for my anxiety. Anyways, all that makeup isn't gonna hide that 5 head, but to compromise, I'll give her a 4 head out of 5. Kakure meme, or is it meme? Get it? Cause me in Japanese means eye, and she has 2 eyes, except she doesn't? Nah, no one gets it. Anyway, Kakure is incredibly shy to the point where she will go out of her way to obscure herself from society. She has a cute hobby of knitting and sports a hime cut fit for a hentai protagonist. Like Mei, she is a believer of the hidden eye supremacy. Luckily, this is a wholesome romance manga, and no degenerate can corrupt that. Kakure has an amazing design, but unfortunately, her anxiety makes her super shy. In fact, her shyness is so powerful that she can use the substitution no jutsu, an ability from the famous ninja anime, Komi-san. It is a curse for a girl to be this beautiful, yet never allowing me to see her face or her lewd body. 3 out of 5. Lin Chio is your junior high class president, who is also your cousin, and has OCD. Okay, jump. How can you be okay with this situation? We are almost bordering incest. But to humor the Alabama weebs, Chio tries to act like a mature adult, being the responsible one since she's an only child. But she's still a little girl. Oh, and her father is kind of a creep that ships his daughter with his nephew. Love is not something other people should be influencing. It should be free, without question. What the f are you talking about? The whole point of this manga is that God himself has forced these girls to love only one person. I can't believe the author is being serious. Nakamura, you're a monster. Anyway, this is a no. We're not dating our super underage lolly cousin, especially one with mommy issues. Which is quite the shame that she gets so much character development and the best dates. I swear, Japanese authors will write the best girl and then nerf them by making them blood related. She even gets a haircut that really increases her Riz factor. I can tell Nozawa-san loves drawing Chio since she's the only one that gets a time skip. 3 out of 5. If she wasn't related to us, 5 out of 5. Yamato Nadeshiko. Oh no, she's a Wessie. Miss Natty over here is an all-American Southern belle, made in Japan. She has culturally appropriated the idea of freedom and is here to liberate all of us that are confined by the cruelties of the Japanese patriarchy. Classic manifest destiny. Never have I felt so represented and proud to be an American. If only she came in guns blazing with a cheeseburger in her mouth like it was toast. She is 100% biologically Japanese, but identifies as an American. She even dyes her hair blonde to make herself look more American. But all the other girls with colorful hair colors, those are all natural because they are true-blooded Japanese. As an American, she has the confidence of a privileged white frat boy, willing to do very bold, naughty things, since that's the American way. However, her Americanese might be a bit much, as she's the type of girlfriend that will fall in the Facebook rabbit hole and end up so American that she becomes a Karen. And I don't know if I'm willing to date a Karen. But then again, I do like me a cowgirl. A legal cowgirl. But it also turns out that she uses her freedom personality to escape the rigidness of her traditional household. She became American to be more liberal, which is quite the controversial statement. But because of that, she still gets nightmares and feels like she doesn't deserve to be happy, especially as she forced her little sister to suffer on her behalf. Turns out that there is a price for freedom. But becoming empathetic isn't American, so let's just say
Wow.
F you to all the negative thoughts. 4 Big Macs out of 5. Yasashiki Yamame is a big and tall country girl who deserves all the love. She is a kind and tender soul who is one with nature. She's such a jolly green giant, she even has fauna growing out of her head. She has a strong constitution that can be used to protect small animals and all living things. And her only trigger is fire, since that destroys nature. I can't say anything bad about her. She is so pure and tall and gentle. I want her to cradle me like a baby. Oh, no, Hahari, go away, you creep. Yamame really loves to garden, and I want her to cultivate the greatest garden since the Garden of Eden. A garden so beautiful that even the gods will simp for her. Anyway, speaking of God, please subscribe and like the video if you haven't. You guys are living things too, aight? So you must subscribe. 5 out of 5. Momi Momiji is a cute masseur who likes to massage women's bodies to make them as soft as they possibly can. But it seems more like an excuse to professionally grope them in a legal manner. Basically, she's the Master Roshi of the group. You know, the old man that preys on the young girl archetype. But it's okay since she's a young girl. Oh, wait a minute. Anyway, her massages are so soothing that will make anybody faint to the point where they even forgot that they're being sexually assaulted. Getting a massage. Her massages are so powerful, she's able to break out of the fiction of this manga and give the actual artist, Nozawa-sensei, a well-needed massage, and to thank her for everything. Now that's how you celebrate 69 chapters. But outside of her magic fingers, she's also a weeb. A proud weeb that isn't ashamed of buying degenerate merch. And that makes her trash, so 1 out of 5. Yakuzin Yaku is an 89-year-old lolly and grandmother to Kusuri. She is trapped in an 8-year-old body because of Kusuri's drugs. As a boomer, she has a mysterious charm to her and has decades of life experience and many, many dark secrets. Being alive during the wars. But dating a boomer will be a problem, as she is so old that she sees you as a child. She'll probably toy with you, and if she really wanted to, she can break you mentally. Can we teach an old dog new tricks? Unfortunately, she is terrible with current technology and might have memory issues. Oh my god, I really hope she doesn't have Alzheimer's. After all, we have to consider the age factor. She's almost at the end of her life. She's ready to die to be with her first love. I don't know how much fun it would be to be her boyfriend. It's not like she's immortal, right? Because she survives off the country's pension. And Japan sort of has a birth rate crisis, so she's siphoning all the social security money by being a retired immortal. What a true queen, leeching off the government. It is a little upsetting, though, that she does eventually pass away. But remember, she was 89 years old. Honestly, props for Nakamura for going through with that storyline. Didn't think he had it in him to kill off a girlfriend. 2 out of 5. Toro Kishika. Another senpai who is the captain of the kendo club, with a knight of honor and a chivalrous personality. She is the elder sister of 5 little ones, since her parents went to get some milk and never came back. No, that was a joke. Her parents are very much alive. They're just very busy with, work. But really, 5 kids? Damn, that's a lot of kids. She is very dependable and proud. And although she doesn't like to be touched without consent, that's just a facade. She actually wants to be pampered and spoiled like a kid, and developed a complex where she pretends to be a child with loving parents. Basically, she turns into a baby when you do cute things to her, like patting her head. Dang, really had to be a catch with this one. Someone who would rather be your little sister than a girlfriend. At least she'll call you daddy if you're into that. Although teasing her afterwards is pretty fun. 3 out of 5. Kedarui Ashi is our certified gyaru who is very hip, stylish, and trendy. Has a ton of cute fashion accessories and consumes an unhealthy amount of content from VTubers. She really, really likes cute things, and it sends her. Don't know where though.
So cute!
Oh, it's her vernacular. It consists of memes and slangs that you may or may not find cringe. But despite her extroverted fashion, she's actually very down to earth and has a very relaxed, wholesome personality. It's because of her low blood pressure. She should really get that checked out. So the exact opposite of a stereotypical gyaru. She actually wants to open up a shop to sell cute things. Which is kind of nice that she has her own dreams and ambitions that you can help her strive towards. And Akko is a cute nickname. One thing though, dating her will result in your phone being nothing but selfies, and sooner your personal information will be out on the internet as she posts about how much she loves you. I've learned that she knows every Pokemon, and so therefore she is a 5 out of 5. Nakaji Uto is a wandering bard who traveled far and wide singing ballads for others that are willing to listen. Really taking the whole bard to a whole new level. She even talks like she's in the Middle Ages. You would think, being a Venti cosplayer, she would be good at being a bard. But she's terrible, but at least she's trying her best. And you know what? That's all that matters, right? It's a litmus test. If you're willing to bear with her terrible singing and her poetic way of speaking, which is just word salad nonsense, you got yourself a pretty wholesome girlfriend. And because she's a Renaissance woman, her interests are rather simple. Just hanging out in a park and fishing in a very deep puddle. But as a bard, she must wander, and we will never see her again. Oh wait, she's a chuuni. A teenager that tries to act wise and mature, but completely fails because, well, they're a teenager. Well, that's cute, but I feel like this identity she has taken form might get annoying. Not to mention the belt on her hat is ridiculously huge. Also, you have to deal with a girlfriend that will constantly one-up you in conversation. But she gets really cute when you break her chuuni axe, so 3 out of 5. Meido Mai is the self-appointed younger sister to Meido Mei. They are not related by blood. But that won't stop Mai. Mai is another maid to the Hanazono household, but she is devoted to just Mei, that she will not accept Mei being taken away. She loves her sister very much and will go out of her way to make sure that it stays that way. But those dreams do lead to her spacing out and causing some shenanigans to occur. This makes her a very clumsy maid, which is kind of cute. When she sees the person she loves, it's through a shoujo lens. So she's a girl who tries to hide her feelings, but inside, she's just waiting for her prince to sweep her off her feet. And she gets very flustered when it happens. Still very cute. Like a tsundere. Oh no, not another one. She's hitting me on my weak spots. The only downside to her is that the only thing she ever talks about is how great Meido Mei is. And she does have some self-esteem issues of never being able to become a maid worthy of Mei's praise. Lady, you got some issues to work on, and I'll accept them. I can do it. I can fix her. God damn it, why does she have to be so cute? She doesn't love me. She only loves me as an extension to her sister. A cruel fate to become of whoever dates her. 4 out of 5. Bonoji Momoha is the social studies and ethics teacher and advisor of the gardening club. She's also a loser drunk with a cute fang. She's homeless, addicted to alcohol, and obsessed with making money, so she developed a gambling addiction. Basically a huge loser that disappoints her parents. And she's super cute, damn it. Finally, we have our drunk, lonely Christmas cake archetype. Because she's homeless, she often goes camping like our favorite drunk sensei. She is a literal disaster and her life is a mess. A perfect example to never follow their footsteps. A reminder that if you don't do well in school, you can end up a loser like her. But despite the bad things that happen to her, she just takes it in stride and deals with it. She has no patience to try new things or to get a hobby. She just wants to do things that provide a short-term happiness. Drugs and sex included. How is she an ethics teacher, you might ask? Despite her flaws, she has a heart of gold, and she provides for her students and family, even though she's forced to camp at the school grounds. She's truly a kind woman and doesn't deserve this depressing life that she is forced to have. Damn it, she's not a loser. She's a true winner. Someone who is always grateful, and god damn it, I wish she was real. 5 out of 5. Biorin. Huh? We have a Nadeshiko Anorin? And a drunk sensei that likes to go camping? You sure this isn't a Yuru Camp spinoff? Goated names aside, Rin is a violinist. Huh. Surprised we went so long before we introduced a prim and proper musically gifted girlfriend. Someone that can actually play music. And not pretend, Uto. Anyway, she seems like a really sweet and gentle girl. Almost like we finally have a normal girl for a molto violento. Oh, she's into violence. Well, I guess there had to be a catch somewhere. As a young girl, she was exposed to Resident Evil or Biohazard in Japan. And instead of being traumatized by the gruesome, violent imagery, she instead became aroused by it. So she's really into violence. Extreme violence at that. Probably was a moderator at LifeLeak or those subreddits where you watch people die in gruesome ways. She lives for live violence, and her dream is to go to a Waffle House in America and watch the fights live. Oh, geez. We better limit this lust for violence and channel her desires through video games before she becomes an actual monster. But you know what? I'm okay with that. I had a violent loving phase. I think I can work with that. I mean, I don't particularly enjoy violence now, but I don't mind if she wants to watch people die. I'll support her weird quirks. Wait, what the hell's wrong with me? It's the name, Rin, you know, BioRin. Wait, BioRin? BioRin. Violin. Violence. Oh my god, now I get it. Today I woke up and chose BioRin. 5 out of 5. He, Fu, Mi, Su is a cute girl with brown glasses. A girl who really loves numbers. So much that she becomes a cute giddy schoolgirl at the sight of them. But when it comes to everything else, she hates it with such disdain. You would think she would be good at math, but she is absolutely terrible. She sees numbers as an actual living things. Math is just a genocide of numbers. I mean, why would 2 ones create a 2? What happens to the 1? Why turn 2 ones into a single 2? It doesn't make any sense. But also, this is in Japanese. So she would also be into the number kanji. But what about the number systems used in other countries? Wait, now that I think about it, where do numbers come from? Who invented such a silly system? And for what purpose? Why did we as humans decide that arithmetic had to be necessary for our species' survival? Anyway, a girl whose name is a Japanese pun on the numbers 1, 2, and 3 that is introduced on chapter 1, 2, 3, and she's the 23rd girlfriend. Wow, so many puns. Now I get it. And speaking as she likes numbers, she'll like this. A rating of 123 out of infinity. Get it? Because she's between 1, 2, and 3 for me? Fine, no one gets it. No one ever does, because no one comments that they get it. Anyways, now that we got more chapters with her, she's a 6, 7. No, shut the f up, you're still a 2. Capoeira is our very first foreign and college girlfriend. Well, she's half Brazilian. Her dad was a capoeira instructor. Get it? Because her name's Capoeira? No one gets it. Brazil and Japan do have an interesting historic relationship that we don't need to go over. We'll just boil down their immigration story to Brazilian Miku. Anyways, Era knows how to fight. She can stop a speeding car with her kicks, and she's not afraid of anything as long as she can kick it. So that means she's afraid of bugs, cats, dogs, diseases, babies, God, Krillin, and worst of all, NTR. You know what? That's a compromise that I'm willing to take to be with a cute half Brazilian, half Japanese, thick college girl that could kick my ass. 5 out of 5. Neko Naritama is a cat girl who has rejected her humanity, so therefore her pronouns are meow and nya.
あんなところに猫ちゃん。
Oh my god, Karana, you can't say that! It's 2026, stop being ailurophobic. Anyways, Meow's like this because Meow hates working. Well, I don't blame Meow. Japan is pretty notorious for having a bad work-life balance. Meow doesn't even have time for hobbies. So Meow planned on getting isekai so that Meow can hopefully live Meow's next life as a cat. But since dying takes a lot of hard work, Meow decided to stay alive and roleplay as a stray cat. But unfortunately, since Meow lives in a capitalist society, Meow needs money. Well, Meow is a cutie, and you know some people do want a cat girlfriend, and I do own a cat, and so I do have experience keeping these little freeloaders alive. Meow's gonna be pretty expensive though, but at least Meow will get a part-time job, so it's not an unreasonable task. What do you mean you can't get a job? Ugh, I just hope Meows doesn't scream every time Meow's in heat because we're not fixing Nya. She got big boobs though, 4 out of 5. Saiki Himika, also known as Kiki. who is a singer and has a natural talent that you can pretty much call her a genius. And she hates it. She hates being perceived as a normal genius. She wants to be more than that. She wants to be an abnormal genius, a contrarian, smug, autistic. I generally do not know what her gimmick is supposed to be. I thought she was going to be an idol, but she's just a self-inflicted weirdo that just does weird things to be weird. Which I guess is par for course with our girlfriends. She wouldn't date me in the first place. I'm too much of a normie for her. 3 out of 5, plus 1 for the smug. Also, she looks great in glasses.
I'm about to bust.
Dei Matsuri is a working-class gothic Lolita with the voice of a drunk Englishman at the pub who loves Japanese festivals. A literal definition of a gat moe. She's one of the rare girlfriends that can actually cook food, something Kurumi will appreciate. Okay, controversial opinion. I like her a lot. I like her stupid accent, and I really like it when she calls me a "da sword in it." She's loud but caring, and if a hater tries to bully her friends, then she fights back. And she's into Beyblades. Nakamura really tried to make her weird, and maybe she is in the original, but Shun's translations and localization makes her charming. Or maybe I just like cute British girls with heavy accents. 5 out of 5. Also, her mom's really hot. Usami Shina. Wait a minute, who is this? Did I skip this chapter? Where did you come from? Who are you? I like your bunny design. You're very pretty, but who the hell are you? Turns out Usa-chan-san has autophobia and cannot bear to be alone or she'll die from desolation. Oh my gosh, that's some serious anxiety. So she's content on being a wallflower. Anyways, her fears extend outwards. She can't even pee by herself. How do you even sleep then? She can't even buy one thing. That gives her too much anxiety, so she has to buy in bulk. She definitely would be a great addition to your harem, if you had one. She's definitely the clingy type, yaps all the time, and doesn't have a concept of personal space. Bordering yandere, probably. At this rate, it's gonna take a whole village to date her. But she's so earnest, and look at that face. Don't you want her to say your name 20 times in a row? She might get annoying, but she's also 6'2". Oh my god, she's 6'2", 5 out of 5. Zetsuboda Meru, and oh my god, what happened to the life in your eyes? Hey, you don't have to jump. I know the world sucks right now, but who am I kidding? It's just gonna get worse. I understand why you're in constant despair since humanity isn't really redeemable, but at least you're channeling your despair into making something wonderful, like fairy tales, that will bring smiles to any child that reads them. She has a talent for that, even though her smile and optimism are gone. However, even though she looks like she came straight out of a horror manga, when she's flustered, it's really cute. It gives me I can fix her vibes. Is it worth the pain and suffering though? You would have to be a very strong and mentally stable man to date her. I still need to work on myself. I don't need a doomer girlfriend to tell me that the world is gonna end and that life doesn't matter. She has a cute laugh though. Although her relationship with Shizuka is pretty wholesome. 3 out of 5. Tomogara Saki, the self-proclaimed shadow bancho of the school. She is the oldest in the school since she repeated a whole year, so she deserves your respect. She leads a gang of kindergartners who look up to her and respect her, and she absolutely loves it when you call her senpai. She looks like a thug and wants to be a thug, but she's actually a softie and loses every fight, even to literal babies. The ultimate jobber that'll make Vegeta jealous. And just like Vegeta, she's a crybaby, pretty short and insecure about it. Because she's so tiny, people often look down on her and treat her like a kid. So she lives her entire life trying to be the senior, the one that her juniors can look up to. But she's ultimately the biggest girl failure of the whole school. But she's got a cute smile and teasing her age would be fun. I will admit her superiority complex can get annoying, especially with how useless she actually is. So that's why you need to be older than her if you want to date her, so that she can be the submissive delinquent girlfriend that you desire. 3 out of 5. Nemui Nemu is our sleeping beauty, always tired and sleepy to the point where she might get into an accident. So how did she develop her narcolepsy? Well, you see, she would help her grandparents make shoes. This child yearns for child labor. She is a hard worker, maybe a little too hard that she falls asleep during the job. But she gets the shoes made somehow. And oh no, she's Zenitsu. She's a sleepwalker and is able to perform tasks that she wouldn't be able to do while awake, like bold things. Her body is able to work 24/7. It's an evil CEO's dream. She pretty much has two sides, the sleep-deprived gloomy side when she's awake and the cheerful confident side when she's asleep. Both sides are wonderful. Not to mention her character design is fantastic. I especially like that headpiece that she wears on her head. I'd love to fall asleep next to her forever. Which is why she's a 5 out of 5. Hasuwa Hasu is a great detective who looks like a bloodhound. And just like a bloodhound, she has a very strong nose. So strong that she actually gets aroused by scents. She has an unorthodox way of solving mysteries by just smelling things. But if it works, it works. As a girlfriend, she most likely spends most of her time smelling your clothes, maybe your socks, definitely your sweaty armpits. So if you're into that kind of thing, she's perfect. And if not, at least it's more tolerable than having a baby fetish. She might not be smart outside of her sense of smell, but she's still a great detective, and you should keep calling her one, cause it'll make her feel special. But she's also kind of boring outside of that. It's just another gimmick girlfriend, so 2 out of 5. Kimari Morikita is the guidance counselor. She is absolutely beautiful, but she has a law-abiding personality, as she was raised by a police officer and a judge. So her sense of justice is to always follow the rules. Rules are boring, but they must be followed. You must never get in trouble or you'll go to jail. Therefore, she had to grow up not being able to experience the fun things in life because usually that stuff would require breaking the rules. In fact, she's kind of a snitch, and because of that, she didn't have many friends. Sacrificing your own personal happiness just to follow rules is an impossible life to live, which is why she secretly likes being a rule breaker. And what's the most taboo thing she can do to also get herself off? Why, being in a teacher-student relationship, of course. My God, she's so hot. But my God, she would be so annoying to date with that constant nagging about the rules. And yet, I'll tolerate it. She's probably the most put together mentally out of all the girlfriends. God, she's so me. Guys, we would totally looks match. She's perfect for me. 5 out of 5. Eru Futate is a twin-tail girl. Like an actual one. I mean, Karane counts, but her twin tails are low-key. This girl is all about her twin tails. Her entire personality is just that. When it comes to her hair, she arrogantly believes that everyone is jealous, even though in reality, they just want to huff a cat. But because of that, she's pretty easy to make happy. Just tell her she has nice twin tails. But let's overlook her twin tails for a second and take a look at her actual design. She pretty much reminds me of Perona from One Piece with her frilly outfit and possibly pink hair. Wait, what? She's Hatsune Miku? Actually, that makes more sense. She does have cool piercings, which I don't know how she got away with that in middle school. Also, her twin tails have healing properties, at least in her mind, which has been consumed by the twin tails. Sometimes I think the twin tails are a parasite attached to her head, since she's so obsessed with this particular hairstyle. Wonder what will happen if she let her hair down. Maybe the world just ends again. Thank God Rentarou knew the mission and prevented that catastrophe from happening. She's only perfect with the twin tail style. Anything less would destroy her, which is why she gets it too, because she debuted on chapter 222, and Futate means twin. And Futa is a genre that features a person with both male and female genitalia. Yeah, she's a 2. Anything less or above and she might literally kill me. Chiyujiai is the school nurse, who had been conveniently absent despite the battle damage that Rentarou's family has suffered in the past 200 chapters. And my God, she is beautiful. Like Mimimi, she has a huge forehead and silky eyes, but this time it's coming from a more calm presence. Well, she's very good at hiding her anger, as she has to keep her smile in order to reassure all the people that she tends to. I don't know if that's particularly healthy, but she is a nurse, so she should know more than me. Design-wise, she's particularly angelic and has a lot of hair, and as compassionate as she is, she does internalize her anger, leading to a lot of self-sacrifice. I guess you could call her the ultimate mommy. 3 out of 5. Kogoe Mishiro is a girl that looks cold, acts cold, and is literally cold, but deep down inside, she's still cold. They always say that a girl's hands are cold, so naturally holding a boy's hand will warm it up. Although in this case, you might need to do more than holding hands to keep her warm and alive. So prepare for lots of cuddles with her. But because of her affliction, she is allowed to wear winter clothes, and everyone knows that winter fashion is the best aesthetic. I mean, just look at her casual clothes. She has so much drip because of her condition. And while she does have unique almond-shaped eyes, she's afraid people will get the wrong idea with the way she looks. So she grew out her hair. 1, to keep herself warm, but to also hide her gaze. And she's super duper cute because of it. God damn it! Look, I know she has the best eyes, but I really liked it when her bang covered one eye. But don't worry, despite that nerf, her Cossack dance is cute. She really loves spicy foods, for obvious reasons. I also like spicy foods, but for more masochism reasons. And of course, she stars in a Rocky montage in order to get her friend a handmade gift. 5 out of 5. Rana Fushida, coming in 1 week before the premiere of Season 3, we have the class president of Class 3-2, the same class that also includes Kurumi and Momiji. Fushida has G-cups, because she was unfortunately the childhood friend of Momiji, who constantly groped her chest, which is probably why they're so big. But because of her size, whenever people see her, she gets slut-shamed. It's not her fault she has big breasts, but people keep hypersexualizing her regardless. Because of that, she's afraid people will see her as a vulgar woman, especially to Rentarou. But luckily that man actually respects women, and he sees Fushida as a serious, sincere girl who works really hard to prove herself and that she's more than just her breasts. We've only had one chapter with her, and I do like her overall design, and not just her chest, but her cute mole and lovely ponytail. And her storyline has a lot of potential. I can see her pairing very well with the OG girlfriends. It's still amazing that after 250 chapters, this manga can still make incredible characters that in any other manga would be best girl or waifu material. 4 out of 5. Anyways, that's all the girls that have been introduced in the manga. All 37 out of 100 girlfriends. With an average of 2 girlfriends per volume, I think? But anyways, which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comments down below. And like and subscribe, and I hope you find your soulmate one day. Okay, bye! Hold it! Rentarou? What are you doing here? How did you even get here? Wait, whoa, is that a gun? Whoa, hey, wait, what? I retract my previous ratings and declare that all the girls are 5 out of 5. They are all perfect. Isn't that right, Ren?